Hey everybody! Today on Classic Mini DIY, we are going to put a rod change gear lever into our Classic Mini. Alright everybody, welcome to Classic Mini DIY. In today's episode, we are going to be tackling putting this gear shift lever into our Classic Mini. Now, for those of you who have been with me since the beginning of Bad Wolf Mini, you'll know that I had a remote shift gearbox in my car prior to this whole build. Now, the difference between a remote shift gearbox and a, rod change gearbox like this one is that the rod change literally is just two rods running up to the front of your car. You've got this whole little brain over here that has your shifter in it, and then this mounts up at the back. And then this is the only point of contact with your engine. So this compared to a remote, in comparison to the remote shift gearbox, the remote shift has this huge aluminum housing. And that kind of hooks on to the differential end, that output side. And it creates a really nice, strong, stable, effectively additional engine mount for your engine. So a lot of people, in fact, quite a few people have asked me, well, why are you transitioning to a rod change gearbox over that remote gearbox? And the short answer out of that is that the gearbox I had before was from an Austin America or an Austin Princess, as I believe they were sold in the UK. And it had a slightly different sandwich mount and everything just didn't quite fit together very well underneath the car. So with this shift system, it gave me a modernized gearbox up at the front, which also, lots of debate about whether or not it's better to have a rod change box versus a remote shift box. But overall, it gave me something that was a little bit easier to work on, a little bit more reliable overall, and just generally less work for me because this is a daily driver car that I am rebuilding right now. Now, connecting all this stuff up here on the front side, it's going to be pretty basic. I'm going to show you guys exactly how that mounts up, and that's going to be transferable to pretty much any car that has a rod change gearbox. The back side though is a little bit different. You'll see this big old mount. Now this is not an original stock mount, and I am going to be replacing it with an additional mount that is also not stock and original. Now these non-stock mounts are actually quite necessary for my Mark I. As you can see here, this is rounded. And in a newer Mini, newer as in not a Mark I Classic Mini, on the body of my Mini, I have a rounded tunnel, and the rod change gearbox doesn't immediately mount up to that perfectly. So this mount right here, this came with the rod change gearbox I got rebuilt from someone here in the United States. Really awesome guy. But this does not provide the kind of right angle that I'm looking for, so I had to get something directly from 7 Mini Parts that is really just tailor-made for this job. Now this right here is a conversion bracket, so let me bring this up a little bit closer to you guys. So as you can see here, there's a bolt that goes through that mount, and those two rubber mounts sit kind of towards the front of this mounting system. This conversion bracket, the bolt still would mount, the bolt still mounts kind of right through here. But as you can see, these mounts actually sit back and farther down, which means this hole right here is going to do a better job of syncing up with the hole that's already drilled on my car. Now the Mark I Mini, most of them originally came with a magic wand shifter. And the magic wand shifter is much different than this rod change, and honestly much different than the remote shift. It actually comes kind of diagonal right up out of the differential, so you have this shifter that comes out and you kind of shift like you would be waving a magic wand, which I'm pretty sure is where the name came from. So if you have a original Mark I Mini and you're shifting to this, you're also going to have to cut a hole in your tunnel in the middle to actually accommodate this new shifter. Thankfully my car was already converted to a 1275 when I bought it, so that step hopefully won't be too necessary. So the first thing is we need to get this old mount off, and I'm not going to show you guys that. It's pretty straightforward. It's just one bolt. So I'm going to take that off, and then we will jump underneath the car. So actually, before we go out there, quick look. This is what this looks like on here. It's much tighter fit, and as you can see, this hole is at a much better angle in terms of how high up this mount is. So now that we have that done, and now that that's ready, now we can go out to the car and I can show you some cool other parts and get this thing mounted up. Okay, so first things first, let's take a look at what we're looking at here on the bottom of the car. Now, as you can see, I've already got some of my exhaust on. It's not the whole thing, And there's a missing bolt right here. It looks like that's stripped out, so I'm going to have to address that kind of separately from this. But right here is your actual rod shift change spinny lever thing. And above that, there is a bolt hole that allows you to put a bolt through that actually holds the hook of this here, the hook of this actual rod change gear lever. Now, you'll also see there is a lower engine steady down here, and I do want to talk about this, but I'm going to cover that a little bit later in the video. This is something that I think is really important, but for right now, I'm going to leave that out until we get a little bit farther in here. But the first thing we're going to want to do is simply hook this hook right here over the bolt that's running through our shift assembly differential there. So this can be a little awkward sometimes, but you should be able to just kind of fiddle that up there and hook it over the bolt. Cool, so now that's kind of hooked over that bolt right up there, and this gives me the flexibility to kind of test fit these holes and figure out where it needs to mount on the back here. All right, so now we have got a good view of the gear selector system. As you can see right here, this is the gear selector, and this is the fork I was talking about that kind of stabilizes your whole rod change gear lever. Now, there are two different ways to connect up this gear selector. The first being the kind of traditional way, and this is using this little piece right here. This uses roll pins to hold this in place. So you hammer through roll pins into these holes here. So you would set this kind of on here like that, and it would mount to the front piece there just like that, but you would have roll pins and you'd hammer those in, and then your gear shifter would need to be in a specific gear in order to get that done. All right, and the other style is a quick release system. So you have your same sort of like black like joining piece. Then you have two spring-loaded rods, and they actually pass right through these little holes, but obviously through this little connector piece. Now keep in mind that this connector piece is tapered on one side, and that tapered side needs to go towards the motor. Otherwise, this is not going to fit on there properly. First, I usually do the side that is closest to the motor. It seems to be the hardest between the two. And simply press that other one in. And there we have it. The gear selector is now connected. Both of those are all the way through. Make sure they sit flush down on there. And so after that, all you got left is to tighten up this mount right here for this fork, and then we're going to go in and put the shift lever in. All right, and actually before I go back inside the car here, I do want to show you one more thing. I mentioned this when we first got started. This is a lower engine steady. And this was not on the car before because I had a remote shift gearbox. So you had this whole system right off the back of your differential here that kind of stabilized the bottom of the motor. Without that, the motor has a little bit more tendency to rock forward and back. And there's always the upper engine steady, but this lower engine steady can actually do a really great job of holding the motor in place. So as you can see, it's already tightened up. It's pretty simple. You have a bracket that mounts to the side of your differential right over here. And then after you've mounted that up, all you have is one bolt here, a regular engine steady, and then it mounts directly into your subframe. So you do have to drill a hole for this. Now, they offer these for the left side and the right side. Now, I started with the left side of the motor because there was a little bit more space over here, and I figured this would be a good place to start. I can always add a secondary one on the right side if I feel like it's not enough. And obviously I can always take this off if I feel like it's too much, but this should be pretty good here. I think that this is going to provide a nice little like bump in stability, and hopefully it doesn't translate too much vibration into the cab of the car. So at this point, let's go inside the car and I'll show you guys how to put that shifter on. It's pretty straightforward for these rod change gearboxes. So let's jump in there. All right, so the last thing that we're gonna do is simply install our shifter. Now, your shifter is gonna look something like this. It's got this little round kind of rubber bushing right here. It's got the retaining tapered ring here. your retainer clip as well as a plastic thingy in here, and then you have a spring on the inside right here. Now I did have to modify this just a little bit so it would fit perfectly in my car, but wiggle that down in there, and then this retaining ring simply goes down and rotates to lock in place, just like that. And then your shifter's installed. So now, first, second, third, fourth. And that's it. So now we can return the carpet to the floor here, and then I can put my shift boot over here. Hopefully the shift boot from before is gonna fit, but if it doesn't, we'll definitely have to pick up a new one, but 7 Mini Parts carries those, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's put the carpet back down in here. All right, so one thing that I was a little bit nervous about, and it looks like my nervousness was warranted. Basically, this shifter, the rod change shifter, is a lot more delicate in terms of like staying in gear. And one of the things that can kind of cause it to pop out of gear is a really hard leather shift boot. So in my case, I am going to have to pick up a shift boot that's a little bit like softer, something that will, one, hold this down, but two, won't cause this to like accidentally pop out of gear. It's got to stay up there and nice and tight in that gear. So this is as far as we're going to get in this episode. All right, folks, that's it for Classic Mini DIY today. I hope that the rod change gear lever assembly doesn't look quite so complicated anymore for you guys. It's a really simple thing to disconnect and reconnect. The hardest part is getting those roll pins out in the event that you have roll pins on your existing rod change or you want to put old ones back in. Although that quick release system that I mentioned before, that thing is totally worth it. That part is totally worth it. I bought one for myself. It was about 60 bucks, but it will save you so much time and so much effort, especially if you think you're gonna take your gear lever assembly out at least one more or two more times. At that point, it's totally worth it to just have that quick release system. But don't forget the Venom Steel contest going on until August 31st, as well as the intro design contest and the t-shirt design contest. All the links to those are in the description below, as well as the parts that I used in this episode. If you guys are thinking about picking up these parts, head over to those links to 7 Mini Parts and pick those up if you're in North America. But that's it for this episode of Operation Bad Wolf and this episode of Classic Mini DIY. Until next time, enjoy those minis and motor on.